Okay, good morning again. We are looking at how struggle weakens intelligence. What is struggle? What is intelligence? Is something that we need to ponder upon today. Now, typically, in our age and time, intelligence is associated with academic performance. And when we see a child and he has secured good marks, we say he is very intelligent. And everybody kind of agrees with it. The same thing when a child is very good in, let's say, cleaning utensils, nothing is attributed to it. We never like praise it, appreciate it. We may say, yeah, you have done a good job, especially when they don't do a good job. But then the measuring scale is very lopsided. And we have become conditioned for that. If you ask anybody, at least in my times, if they went into humanities, the intelligent ones were supposed to go into science colleges. The next lot was supposed to go into commerce stream. And those who couldn't get anything went into the humanities. And we see that even today, right? Especially teachers. I'm only a teacher. Somewhere we put ourselves down. Something going into humanities, then doing a B.Ed. It was as though you had no other opportunity option. There are exceptions in any of these discussions that we take up. There are definitely exceptions. But majority of us, we kind of define intelligence as something that you are doing academically very well. Somewhere you will make enough money, more money, where you are there to, where you stand out in terms of accomplishment. And we do not look at accomplishment a musician does. I mean, unless they become really big. It's not that someone becomes a CEO of the company because they were academically intelligent. And they could be terrible at all other aspects in their life, but we still like revere them. And even one who does not become the CEO but has a decent pay, we accept it. But in other intelligences, like musical intelligence, natural intelligence, intelligence about animals, how plants survive, interpersonal intelligences, unless they're supremely good, we don't even recognize it. I mean, we are taught in as part of our teacher education, there is something called as multiple intelligences. I think it was Howard Gardner. I'm getting confused. I think it's Howard Gardner who gave this concept of multiple intelligences, where he says academic intelligence or mathematical language intelligence is only one of the few. He came up with 13 such intelligences: musical intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, spatial intelligence, natural intelligence. So many of those are there. So when I am struggling, where am I struggling, to perform that academics, especially in the present day and age, when we start sending children to school when they are 3, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and schools supply them a big kit of books, the child struggles. Now just look at it. I mean, you go into a new city, you struggle with the language, with figuring the way out. I mean, these days GPS is there, yet we may struggle. But why is that child struggling? Something they can do very easily, but definitely the struggle word with intelligence comes into picture when we are looking at academic performance. I struggled with music when I enrolled myself in a music class. I just couldn't make sense of where I was missing that beat. And the teacher kept telling, listen, it's a quarter beat, it's a half beat. I just couldn't get it. I struggled, but I didn't persist. So I gave up because music was not critical to my life. It was just a hobby and I don't have to take it up. So struggle comes when we are pushing through difficulties. We are made to push through. Yeah, sit up a little late, study a little longer. And if in case I did very well, I say, oh my God, I struggled so much to get those marks. But life or that knowledge that I acquired doesn't stay with me if I didn't have joy in that process. So struggle is that premature effort when my faculties are not ready. For a 3-year-old, their ability to understand why they need the letters and numbers, why they need to read, that isn't ready. A 24-year-old will enjoy that struggle when she decides to take up an exam because it's good for her future. She's something that wanting to do it. It's her decision. Then she's going to take time off. She's going to sit and prepare and enjoy the process, talk about it, debate about it, and go through that process. But a 3-year-old has absolutely no idea. 9-year-old has no idea. 14-year-old has no idea. So it becomes a painful part, especially anything, academics, sports, music, arts, anything that I'm not ready for it and I'm made to do it, then it is a struggle. So somewhere it is that immature, premature, not immature, premature pushing of learning something when I'm not ready for it yet. Like a premature baby struggles to live. So it's the intelligence is a natural process. It comes to you. We have bodily intelligence. If I leave my body, if I get hurt somewhere, leave it alone, the bodily intelligence kind of heals it. We may be bringing our intelligence there premature. When I have a cold, the older generation will say it'll run its course, don't worry, just keep drinking hot water, keep gargling, eat less, rest more, it'll go away. But intelligence, of course, modern materialistic ways, pharmaceutical companies are pushing themselves on us. They say, take medicine, take antibiotics. So I suppress the virus. I take antibiotics, manage 5 days, 7 days, seem okay, but really not okay. And that cold, that viral kind of infection persists for months together. I'm neither too sick nor well, struggling through that process because the external intelligence overrode the bodily intelligence. So I struggle. I hope that is kind of making sense. When we talk about intelligence, it is that living entity in me, just like how Howard Gardner showed us the multiple intelligences that we learn in many different ways. The essence could be the same. If you take a musician, The way they put forth is very mathematical in nature. The lyrics they sing is very linguistic in nature. And the way they get so involved in singing is intrapersonal in nature. There's so many of these other intelligences coming into the musical intelligence, provided I'm one with it. And I give that freedom for anyone to get engrossed in it without forcing it. I mean, these days, again, when I enroll for it, I have to give an exam end of the year. So I have to prepare for it, premature, forced. Then there is a struggle to understand, experience the music itself. If you look at it, even just like how um, Bharatnatyam teachers do not give permission to their disciples until the disciple goes through this rigorous test as Arangetram. Music also had something like that. I'm not sure, Gatbandhan or some word like that. I'm not very sure. They had to go through that rigorous test of giving preparedness. You were given enough time. There was no age limit. You just did it at your own pace on daily basis. Some who were really into it mastered it in, let's say, 5 years. Some who were not totally into it took 10 years to master it, and all was okay because the intelligence was allowed to bloom at its own pace, just like we must allow the child to bloom at their own pace. The minute we start pushing it earlier, you will see all sorts of learning disabilities coming into picture because the fear is induced. Now, fear is the culprit. Fear will say that you have to finish this content in 1 year. There is an exam coming up. There is a test coming up. You need to perform. You are put on a report card. Need help. Not satisfactory. Exemplary. These are all kind of tools that we use to measure someone who is a living entity. I mean, I cannot be this person an hour from now. Something may happen to me now. The whole understanding of a concept that I've held very dearly shifts. It falls through. That doesn't mean I was wrong. An hour ago, I held certain beliefs or whatever according to my own exposures and experiences. Something happened in between. I totally disagree with what I believed an hour ago. I have grown. But I would not say that because people are going to say, I can't trust you anymore. You say one thing an hour ago, another thing an hour later. Then I have to struggle to articulate the knowledge I have gained because I cannot, like the intellectual knowledge, the one that we think is the head heavy, not the bodily intelligence, not the feeling intelligence. I cannot articulate it. That is science. There is definition for it, there is a hypothesis, then there is a proof, and this exists. So others can sense it through their limited faculties. What the five sense organs I have are very limited in their capacity. So I cannot see something beyond what is physical around me. I cannot hear something beyond what people around me speak. If I have to develop that ability, I have to work on it. I cannot be limited by it. Anytime there is a struggle, there is that limited, premature effort. And if I only stick to it, I'll continue to struggle in my life. Go back. I mean, this is something we got to do. Go back and look at people in your life who have struggled, or we have just used that term in a very casual way. My aunt struggled through her entire life. Same situation, somebody else may have committed suicide. My aunt struggled, but she also enjoyed life. She took it by the minute. What should I be doing now? Because this particular situation has come up. Her intelligence was readily available because it was a difficult situation, no doubt, but she didn't have to struggle like the way we have labeled it. And we also compare. Now, look at her. She struggled even when she did not have anything. Now you have everything, and you still do not want it to. Nothing can be compared. That ability that I develop to be able to understand your perception, your thinking, is one of those higher level senses that we need to develop. Steiner talks about 12 senses. It is not just five sense organs. So, one of the higher order senses is my ability to understand what you may be perceiving. When I do that, that's an intelligence again. When I can do that, the amount of pressure we put on the children so they begin to struggle reduces. What is the child capable of doing? What the child could be thinking? Is math more important to the child now, or language? Wherever the situations, the difficult situations are for the child. And shifting away just from academic performance. That's a big, big deal for parents to accept. Accepting that intelligence is a living entity, it just doesn't live in my head. Head is definitely one of the components, but it also lives in my feeling. It also lives in my ability to act physically, take charge, and do something about it. It lives in my entire body. And when these intelligences do not align with each other, when I just keep doing without much feeling or thinking, or when I just keep thinking without doing much about it, without a feeling associated with it, or when I just feel without thinking, without doing anything about it, struggle begins. Thinking is like doctors, for example. They cannot feel for the patient on the operation table. They just have to do. They have to think, they have the knowledge, there is a tumor, they have to operate it. That's it. They cannot feel, oh my God, I'm cutting them out, the blood is oozing, the patient is losing. They cannot feel, they should not. That's a professional requirement. But if they bring that same level of thinking only into the family when they're sitting with their child, the family falls apart. Or when you just feel, the child gets bruised, there is bleeding, heavy bleeding. Or at least it looks, because there's so much of, and the mother faints. Oh my God, what happened? My child lost his limb. Go to another extreme of it, just feel for it, but not take action to take the child to the doctor, not think, yeah, this is a part of growing up, the child has to fall. Only then they'll understand how to be careful around, rough terrain while playing. That's lopsided feeling. And there are these laborers, the masons who are helping build apartment. Perfect example, where they fix the bathroom up, they fix the sink up, and they push all the cement into the drain. They just do their job. I'm told to do, I'll do. And not thinking about, okay, the cement pushed into the drain will clog the drain. I'm living on the fifth floor and there could be the blocked drain. They won't think that far into it. They just do. Any of this becomes a struggle for them or someone else. So when I'm struggling, I kind of lose track of my intelligence. You could see that, when you get into a panic mode, the bus doesn't arrive on time. I'm so used to taking this particular bus, so I reach 5 minutes early to my workplace. And today it doesn't show up. I panic. And if this situation is given to a young child, they just don't know what to do. But then if the child has been accompanying an adult and adult has a little matured intelligence and experiences and all of that, I say, okay, the bus doesn't come, I cannot walk, can I get an auto? Or can I call somebody to pick and drop me? Can I call my workplace and say I'm delayed? There are so many other options. The intelligence is working. And you will see many people, especially these days, who didn't go through varied life experiences. They really don't know what to do. They panic and they stay in the panic mode. They keep struggling. And it's very casual for us. Couldn't you even think that you could do something else? It did not come to them. I mean, that's the drawback of the present day time. Children are not doing things with their parents, finding solutions, recognizing problems of day to day living, because the affluence has kind of protected children from experiencing all of these. So it's a lifelong struggle. They could excel very well in one areas of their life, but then they will not remember to pack everything. They will not remember to get alternatives, struggle for the whole life. And when they're struggling, whatever one area they're intelligent in, at some point of time, that gets discounted. So be aware of this premature forcing of doing things when the faculties are not ready for, are not fully developed and ready. That is when the struggle begins. So struggling in academics begin when we push academics too early. Struggling in cooking happens when I'm not exposed to the kitchen and I'm not cooking with my parents. So give it at the right time, give it in smaller doses, build the skill up, and then give the next skill. Do not just assume that we will get it because the child is growing up. The height, weight will define their ability to comprehend. So, understanding that struggle is premature delivery, premature exposure to something. It's not, I mean, of course, we need discipline, of course, we need to put effort, we need to have rhythm, we need to have all of those, no exception for that. It's only when they are forced to do before they're ready is when the intelligence kind of takes a back seat. Think about it, ponder upon it, take different examples and analyze it a little bit. Do not compare, do not judge, just look at it for a fact and see where we have struggled, where the process was not joyous, and somehow whatever intelligence I had also did not work. You'll see this happening. I just did not know what to do. When a panic situation happens, I just did not know what to do. I mean, it's not that I'm not intelligent. Somehow that intelligence did not work because I was struggling. So think about it and good luck. Bye.